My name is Abdi Hirsi. I'm going to be starting my master's at the School of Public Policy and Governance at UFT in 2014 September.
My name is Hibah Gele. I'm a community development worker at Community Action Resource Center in York Southwestern.
My name is Naimun Abubakar.
I am a third-year student at York University studying Geography and Urban Studies.
My name is Samia Abdi. I am a Senior Business Analyst with the Ministry of Health.
My name is Ismail Afrah. I'm a fourth-year philosophy student at UFT.
My name is Munira Abdulkar. I am now a graduate of Ryerson University. I'm a community activist and I serve on Toronto Community Housing's Board of Directors. How I balance being Somali and being Canadian isn't something I consciously do. Being Canadian is who I am. There's no way I can be Canadian. I'm born and raised in Canada. I'm a product of my environment. Again, it goes back to the environment. But then again, when I go home, I know I'm not only a Canadian. I know I have a tradition. I know I have a culture. I know I have song and dance and oral tradition that I have to rely on, right? So balancing being Somali and Canadian for me isn't a difficult thing because I'm proud that I have two different identities that make me a diversity and make me a new form of what it is to be a Canadian, and at the same time an old form of what it means to be a Somali.
It's an interesting balance. I would say that I have parents that are very well cultured within the Somali culture itself. So when I'm in my house, I feel as if I'm very Somali. Like we only speak in Somali. We have all the Somali artifacts and decorations on the wall, the fadar bed, the unsi. So it's a good balance.
I wouldn't use the word balance. I would actually say, how would I celebrate being a Somali Canadian? And I do that by being exposed to extremely two positive cultures that have amazing things to offer and being able to draw out the positive from both cultures.
So I'm very proud to be Somali. We are people who are, who have an oral tradition, a community that is strong, that has history. And so I'm very proud of that. And I'm very proud of, the arts and culture that we have, Suganta Somalia, the poetry, everything that's really walking in our blood. In
my second year of UFT, I think it was, I was kind of disillusioned. I was disconnected from the school system because I felt like it failed me during my high school years.
Throughout my high school career, that I was going to be a dropout. Throughout my high school education, I wasn't going to, go anywhere. And because I had such a caring community and a community that believed in my success as a Somali Canadian, I was able to be like, I could take my education, I could take that negativity, I could self-actualize it, and I can make it positive.
One of the most changing aspects of my life is because a teacher of mine, his name was Nijvietsky. He's the one who first told me that I was going to enjoy university. Mainly the rhetoric around university is that it's very hard, that it's very complicated, that somebody like me wouldn't be able to make it. But because of him, and because I believed he was a serious person, he's the first to tell me that university can play a good experience, that I was going to enjoy it. So I think that fact changed my whole future.
I was at the point where I was kind of thinking, is this for me? And a professor by the name of Brian Bean spoke to the class. He would take 5 minutes out of class time and tell us personal stories. And he told me, he spoke to the class, but I thought he was directly speaking to me because he told me that he failed in his first 2 years of school and nothing was going right. And all it took was a professor to tell him that, hey, all you need is motivation, you're a bright student. And he became a professor. So me, I wasn't doing as bad as him. I wasn't failing both years. So I thought, wow, I have hope as well. So I spoke to him after class, and he told me to come by his office to speak to him more and figure out things that we could do to improve my academic standing. And I've kept in close touch, and ever since then, I've been doing really, really, really well in school.
My educational experience has started with my father being from a nomad family and being the first to finish university as an aerospace engineer, and being able to see him firsthand and what the difference education makes in an individual's life as well as the communities, and always being pushed to work hard and to excel in my education.
A word I think that describes what it means to be a Somali Canadian is resiliency.
Resiliency.
Hardworking.
Modern.
Resilient and adaptive.
Dynamic.
We are resilient people. We are nomadic in nature. We are powerful people who walk with history and poetry.
We've gone through difficult times. We've lost, we've grieved, we've lost, we've mourned. And it hasn't always been easy. The struggles that we faced. We're a new community, relatively new community to Canada.
The Somali community came here and started from scratch, and within 20 years or 25 years, we've been able to rise to the top. We have an amazing amount of young people who are coming out from diverse educational backgrounds and are excelling extremely well in their careers and being able to contribute to both their Somali community and to their larger Canadian society.
Canada allows that you can have a history, but at the same time, you can equally belong here.
We came here with nothing. We started with nothing. And we are people who've built ourselves, who've integrated into society, and who've really put our stake here in this land and said, we're here to stay.